The Oncofertility Consortium is a group of scientists and scholars from the humanities and social sciences, as well as medical professionals, that are working together to provide fertility options for young patients with a cancer diagnosis. The consortium was started about 6 years ago when we decided to really put a lot of effort into trying to bring together the fertility and the oncology at the same time, and that's where Oncofertility really came from.
We're really interested in seeing how interdisciplinary initiatives like the Oncofertility Consortium emerge, how they grow, and how they are able to make an impact in terms of trying to accomplish the societal goals that they are trying to accomplish. So that's our first goal, our primary goal. A secondary goal is to see more generally how new disciplines come to be, how they emerge as a brand new discipline. And the Oncofertility Consortium is an exquisite example of the second category, because we are able to identify exactly the first set of research that was ever done on this particular topic that coined the term oncofertility. When you're trying to look at an interdisciplinary research consortium like the Oncofertility Consortium, there are so many different ways of trying to understand how this group came about, how they have grown, how they've evolved, and how they have been able to produce materials that are helpful both in terms of academic research as well as in terms of making an impact in society for the individuals that it cares about. The kinds of data that we have to look at here are quite varied. On the one hand, we can look at the kinds of research collaborations that have happened. We can look at the articles that were written, who co-authored with whom, who cited whom. But scientometric data is not the only kind of data we have access to. Another very important source of data is survey data.
We do this using OncoIKnow, which is a survey created on CIKnow, a web-based network data collection platform developed at Sonic. This is the third and final survey we are conducting for Oncofertility, so please join in and participate.
Previously, we did 2 surveys on Oncofertility Consortium, and here we have the data on the number of participants to these 2 surveys. If we focus on individual states, we can see that, for example, the state of Illinois, in 2007, it has only 44 respondents to the survey, and 2010, the number increased to 77. So overall, it shows that more people got involved in the past years on the Oncofertility Consortium, and this consortium become very influential over the year.
Here are some examples of questions that we use in the evaluation surveys. This is what we call a contact user question, where a user can select individuals from the consortium to be included in the contact list on your right. This specific question instructs you to select people that you have interacted with. After you have selected your contacts, the next question will ask you to describe your relationship with each one of your contacts.
So this video shows us the 3D visualization data we collected from our 2010 survey. In this video, we have 3 networks. The first network is the network of professional contact network before the consortium, and the second one is the contacts met through the consortium, and the third network is the professional contact network after the consortium. So by looking at these 3 networks, we can see how the consortium helped the users and the participants to get connected to each other.
The second source of interest, the second major interest of the Sonic Lab in terms of looking at the Oncofertility Consortium, is to understand how disciplines emerge. We have been able to identify the very first set of articles that talk and introduce the concept of oncofertility. And what this means is that we are able to trace out from there all of the documents that cite these original documents and that have used the phrase oncofertility.
Our focus has been to develop a conceptual model and to empirically evaluate emergence and evolution of the oncofertility research field. Specifically, we are interested in identifying whether the field evolves as an autonomous growth, whereby researchers that never published in the oncofertility area pair up with others who have never published in this area, or as an apprentice growth, whereby new researchers publish with researchers that previously published in the field. Let me exemplify the 2 different types of growth. For example, at time 1, all collaborations are newcomer because everyone is new to the field. At time 2, in the case of autonomous growth, the majority of collaborations are still newcomer. However, in the case of apprentice growth, the majority of collaborations are newcomer-incumbent. Researchers new to the field are collaborating with researchers that already published in this field. To investigate the evolution of the oncofertility field, we used all articles published in the field until 2010. Specifically, there are 643 publications starting 1993 and more than 1,700 authors. We can see that the numbers of scientific articles in the oncofertility increased almost exponentially only after NIH began funding this research. We intend to continue the investigation on the evolution of the oncofertility field based on different types of relations among researchers. And we want to understand whether the field is positioned as a gated community, a colony, or as an interdisciplinary research field.
And we have been thinking hard about how we could then compare what is happening within the oncofertility discipline to other disciplines that have emerged and that are much more established. One of the advantages of looking at oncofertility is that it's a fairly young discipline.
So instead of isolated groups, we're now really working together in a collaborative, collective way that I think is one of the biggest paradigm shifts of the entire consortium from a basic science viewpoint. And to me, that's the most effective, most exciting way to move science and medicine forward.